activity. The party and live for today approach attracts the criminal element and often involves illegal activity. And as we have seen, the Valley's most prominent outlaw biker group is the Dirty Dozen.
There is no doubt about it. The Dirty Dozen have a bad reputation. Police say it is a reputation that is richly deserved. Officials say members of the Dozen have been involved in a variety of crimes, and they say it has gotten worse in recent years.
They've become more organized. They've become better financed. They've also expanded their operations, their tentacles, so to speak, into other areas.
But police are reluctant to single out the Dirty Dozen as a law enforcement problem. Police estimate that independent outlaw bikers outnumber the Dirty Dozen by 40 to 1. It is the biker culture, police say, that provides the problems. Nevertheless, police say there are bikers and members of the Dirty Dozen who are law-abiding citizens who happen to have Harleys. But police say that all too often bikers break the law while in pursuit of a good time. Members of the Dirty Dozen acknowledge the bad reputation, although they contend it is more rumor than substance. And they don't see themselves as the only ones to have backsliders in their midst.
Phoenix Fire Department, you know, there's a group of young, healthy men, and you're going to have a few men follow the law. Phoenix Police Department, same way. You know, they're all supposedly healthy men, and I see all the time where they are indicting their own, you know.
This man is willing to believe just about any allegation made against the Dirty Dozen. He rides a motorcycle, very often socializes with bikers, but he sees a major difference between independent bikers and the Dirty Dozen.
They seem to thrive on violence. They seem to like to get in fights, big fights.
He attended a party that erupted into a free-for-all. He blames members of the Dirty Dozen and has adopted a philosophy for dealing with the Dozen.
We avoid them. We go out of our way to avoid them. If they appear someplace, we disappear, just because we know in the past the problems have arisen with them being around.
Members of the Dirty Dozen admit there are fights, which isn't unusual considering they hang around bars like these. If there is a heated disagreement at a biker bar, they do not send out for a federal mediator. Members of the Dirty Dozen say that in those altercations, even when they win, they lose.
We go to a bar, and we go to bars a lot. There's always going to be somebody in there that wants to test you, wants to push you, you know, and we probably put up with more pushing and testing because we know we're the ones going to get blamed for it than your average person would in a bar. Because we're going to get blamed for starting trouble no matter what happens.
In the final analysis, a determination has to be made of how much of a threat to society is posed by the Dirty Dozen and outlaw bikers, and how much of a law enforcement priority they should then receive. And those are questions that really can only be answered by law enforcement authorities. Ken?
Can I understand that members of this club could be people that you work with, and perhaps you don't know that that's what they are?
Well, that's true. A lot of them do adopt what they call a low-key approach, and tomorrow we'll be looking at who they are and what they do when they're not riding their motorcycles.
Okay, thank you very much. Phoenix Fact of Life.